All right, so tonight Carole's going to do our call. I just wanted to give you guys some announcements for this week and the upcoming month. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is start planning your challenge group if you haven't already planned your challenge group. Challenge groups are where you're going to get people in, excited about programs. You get to talk about the support, the community. I have mine coming up. It's going to start on April 4th, and it's the Fairy Tale Fitness group, which I'm so excited about. It's super me. It's very much the people that I want to work with. I'm really, really excited about it. So if you guys want to jump in on that, you can. Carole, you're starting on the end of this month, right?
I need to do another post about it after this call. I'm going to do another post about it, and then just start doing posts every single day. I'm going to start on the 28th. I am going to host it in the app. I think I'm going to pass on doing it in a group or in an event, and then I'm going to
I like the app a lot.
It's really nice. I'm definitely getting all the notifications from you guys, which is making sure for me, I'm using yours right now just as a way to get used to how it flows on the customer side. And it's really nice on the customer side. It's just for me, I kind of feel like my people might have the same issue with click it and respond, which is it's essentially the same issue with Facebook, except there's an extra click to get onto Facebook. And then get into the group. But at least you're automatically getting notifications. You can turn off group notifications.
Yeah, I like that you can adjust like what notifications that you're getting. Like you can get notifications from just the coach, from everybody, I really like that. I'm still learning stuff about it today. Like I went on there from the coach side, you can see like when people are logging and send messages. So I sent some messages today to try it out, just to kind of get a feel for how that's going. Like I said, this month is really trial and error. You know, we're learning how to use it. And so but I'm really liking it so far. I like that it's right there on my phone. And then all I have to do is click a button and say, I had my Shakeology. I did my workout. Hey, how's everybody doing? And it's cool. And from the coach side, if you need to, you can schedule posts. You can it's all there. That's really cool.
What I'm excited about, because one of my issues is, especially with my schedule, is it's recording. So I work 4 a.m. to 12 p.m., but a lot of my people are on the East Coast, and so for me, timing's all over the map. Not even if I worked from home and didn't have a full-time job along with this, it would still be a hard time for me to figure out when my clients are on Facebook. So this way I can schedule the posts and then make sure that I'm being on my game every day and they're getting the information that they're expecting from me as their coach. So I'm excited about that, definitely from the coach side. But I really like what I'm seeing with, I have mine set right now to see your notifications and then any comments on mine. I think one of my settings.
It's really user-friendly too, which I like. Like it's all super, I like it. I really like it. I'm glad you guys are liking it too. And it looks like people are interacting. You guys are sharing your stuff. I really like it. Okay, so
less public than Facebook too.
Yeah, it's all super right there. And you can share certain things with only your coach, which I think is really cool.
I like that.
As we continue to use it for our own customers, they can share their progress pictures, their whatever, with just us.
And in that sense, I feel like a lot of times people are hesitant to share on Facebook because even if you're in a private group, it's still very public feeling just because that's what Facebook is like. It's just very public. So I like that the app gives people a little bit, it gives them a sense of security.
I agree. Okay, so challenge groups, start thinking about those things. I know some people have said they wanted to jump in mine. You guys can team up, you can do your own thing, whatever, but just be thinking about how you want to do that. And then I also wanted to tell you guys, sorry, I'm trying to go through my list in my head because I forgot to write it down. If you are really trying to move your business forward and you're really wanting this, you need to be connecting. Carole and I talked the other day, and she was like, I have this goal, and this is my goal, And now she's already, in a couple days since we talked, she's already helped 2 people because she's doing those consistent connecting, following up, building relationships. That is what builds your business. Like, we can focus on branding, we can focus on groups, we can do trainings, but if you are not handling the basics of this company, following your workout programs, following your meal plans, drinking your Shakeology, building relationships, your business is going to go nowhere. You have to focus on why you started. You wanted to help people. You wanted that. That's why you wanted to coach. So if you're not focusing there and your heart isn't there, it's time to refocus if you're wanting to really build your business. Were you going to say something?
And a big thing about that is, so my goal is Success Club 10 this month, because I got an email saying that if I don't achieve Success Club 10, I lose my spot that I reserved for next year's Success Club trip to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. And I'm not losing my spot. It's not happening. So there's that. It's about determination. If I know that a lot of us, we've talked personally about just setting your goals. And if you don't achieve them, it's called failing forward. And that's one of the big things that I struggle with and I'm going to talk with about in what I'm talking about today. But also, it's about sharing who you are and not so much the business side. Everybody in our team is really great about doing that. But if you look at coaches who have been in the business longer or who have had really great success, 2 coaches in our big group, Pure Synergy, are Julie and Tatiana. They never say, not never, but they don't have a tendency to use the words Shakeology or PIO or 21 Day Fix or Beachbody Coach in their posts. They're really just, it's about them and it's about their life. I think Tatiana uses health and business coach. I use health and fitness coach, and I would love to use business more later. But it's definitely about sharing how this opportunity has helped you and changed you. And to me, sometimes when I use, if people ask me what I do or like who I work through, I do say, yeah, the workout that I do is made by the same people that make P90X. You've heard of that, right? Because that's one of the oldest programs and people know about it. They've heard about it, even if they've never done it. So I just say, yeah, it's by the same people. They put out that workout, and I'm like an independent contractor through them. If I have to explain a little bit further about what I do and how I get paid or compensated. But it's definitely about sharing who you are. I know that I do struggle. So this isn't saying that I'm perfect at this. I struggle at sharing who I am and what my story is and how the opportunity has helped me. But I've also come a long way in the last 1.5 years. I think we're officially at 1.5 years. Where I did post, it was a PIO sale. It came up in my time hop. It came up saying, it's on sale, don't forget to get it. Or, this is the program that I'm doing. And I put a big, like, Google it image on there, and it was pie with the cup and the Shakeology. And I've done that before. We've all done it. But even if it's a picture of you and your workout, you don't always have to say all of the licensed names that come along with this. Use whatever words work for you and communicate with your ideal client the best. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that was long.
That's okay. It's really true. Just because people are going to see a sales ad if you do things like that, and then they're going to get turned off. So I know we talk about that a lot. So really try to share your story, how it's helping you, how it's changing you. And then my last announcement is on the 23rd, Wednesday, the 23rd. We're going to do a Coach Sneak Peek pajama party.
I'm already in my pajamas.
About it. Just something fun. Everybody can post pictures in their pajamas. We will talk more about that. We'll have a planning call and things for that. I'll let you guys know when that is. We'll get a Google spreadsheet going of the things that people want to talk about. We'll get the post going, and then we'll do a Zoom call or a Google Hangout or something at the end of it. It's going to be one night. It's going to be an event. It's exclusive. Like, you come or you miss it. People can watch the recording of the call. But I just want people to be able to experience what it's like to be a part of a team, to be a part of something fun. I want it to be really interactive and boom, boom, boom. So that's my last announcement. So keep that in the back of your heads. That's next Wednesday. Hopefully, I won't be having a baby.
Hopefully you will be having a baby, but we'll still host it.
Not that way.
We'll handle it. Don't you worry. So make sure that you're inviting people to that event. So it's going to be in a Facebook event, so we can post throughout the day. It's not going to be a multi-day one, like Tori said. It's just one day. That kind of encourages people to put it on their calendars and to be there and to be committed to going. Just like you'd schedule a doctor's appointment. It's not like, I had an idea, okay, we'll do one day, we'll do one the next day. So that way, if people are busy, whatever night, no, this just, you get to do it or you get to do the next one. If you guys didn't see in the Pure Synergy group, for the people that are on the cruise right now, the Success Club trip, which by the way, get on the wait list for next year. There's always a possibility that spots will open up and that you can get on the list, or that you can get booked for the trip. They had an announcement, performance line, Recover, which is the chocolate one that I'm drinking post-workout right now, is going to come in an orange flavor starting in May. They are also releasing a new DVD program, which is also going to be as a live program, which I believe they're going to start certifications at Summit this year in Nashville. It's perfectly themed. It's called Country Heat. I'm not super excited about it. It's like, looks exciting, but you guys know I don't love autumn, and you guys might know I don't care for country music. So maybe Andy will do it. It'll be really funny to see him do it.
I think it reaches a whole new...
It does.
It reaches a whole new market of people. Like, I could think of so many people that I went to high school with that would be all over that program. And
the other funny thing about that is Jen, who lives in Texas, says that she doesn't think people would do it. But there are people
No. They're now...
Oh, yeah.
People that I know that are Southern would... Because when I saw it, I was like, this is real, like, kind of offensive. Like,
but it's pretty basic.
Like cheesy, typical Hollywood country.
Yeah.
But I know some people who would be all over it.
And I think that some people that are like overwhelmed by like size and hip hop abs, and even Brazil butt lift is a little dancey, and turbo kick, turbo jam. Those are very high intense workouts, and they are very fast paced. You can slow them down, but you guys know I have a foot injury, and by week 3 of size, I had to stop because it was aggravating my injury so badly that I could not do it, even with the modifications. So this is very basic, very line dance based, and it looks pretty cool, but there is going to be a live format that you can get certified in, like I am certified in for size. And the last announcement that came off the
reality TV show.
The reality TV show that's going to be on BOD. It's the new trainer. So you might have seen that my cousin was part of the casting group for that, like looking for people. I guess they found a bunch of people, and they're gonna. It's like Real World for fitness trainers. I'm kind of excited. It looks really nerdy. Okay, that was the last of the announcements from the cruise. Tori, is your art?
I'm done.
Okay, we good? Any questions?
Take the floor. I'm going to go in the dark room.
Dark room. You're so cute. Okay, guys. So last week, you probably know that last weekend, I went to Southern California, just south of LA, for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, first weekend of March, to go to Smart Success Live, hosted by Chalene Johnson. It was 3 days of conferences. It is not Beachbody related. She is a fitness trainer who created the live broadcastings of Beachbody Live, like Size Live and Country Heat, but she no longer is affiliated with that particular company. She sold it off to Beachbody. You may or may not know that she is also a motivational speaker. She owns multiple businesses, and she's pretty much an amazing entrepreneur. I love her. She has a New York Times best-selling book called Push. And I call Smart Success Push on steroids, which doesn't sound really great, but that's what it is. Push is 30 days to turbocharge habits, a banging body, and the life you deserve. It's really about figuring out what your priorities are and figuring out what those priorities are, but what your intrinsic priorities are. So those are basically what make up the fiber of your being. That might be faith, it might be family, It could be anything, and then what your life priorities are. So what you're working on in your life that you want. And then she breaks down goal setting and reverse engineering your goals to figure out how to get those points. Because any goal that you set out to do, not to make you not sound special, but somebody out there has done it before. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, and this applies to any trainings in coaching, but also anything in life. You can really look at what other people have done in the past to figure out what you need to do to achieve those goals. So if you want to achieve Success Club 5, look at what other people are doing. And we're always going to tell you the same thing, the 3 available behaviors first. So at Smart Success Live, there were 6 speakers. Chalene Johnson was there, her husband, Brett Johnson. Dr. Amen, he is a psychiatrist, but he works with brain spec imaging. Michael Hyatt was there. Brandon Burchard was there. And last one, Pat Flynn. So I'm going to just go through my notes day to day, and I'm going to go through a little bit what the speakers talked about. But basically, the whole theme was about getting your habits in place. Last year's was about focus. This year was about habits. Every year is different. She started talking about how you never really graduate from Smart Success Academy because life is always changing and life is a movement, and also your priorities change. So what my goals are for these the next 90 days is going to be different from what it is 90 days after that, 90 days after that, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Smart Success Academy is an online module academy. It's 8 weeks long, talks about the same stuff as in Push, but also focuses on the business side as well. So you're focusing on your whole life, work life, family, and then also growing your business. So it was a lot about being open to receive change, which is a big thing for me. I have a big fear of failure complex. I always had this, it was never pushed on me, but I always had this thing where like a B is an A is an F. So that was really prevalent in my life growing up. And sometimes I don't do things because what if I fail? Even though failing isn't a bad thing, it's learning. It's learning how to do better next time. So we learned about taking inventory and loving what you're doing, making the changes where you need to make them, taking care of your brain, body, and your relationships, managing and creating healthy relationships with your finances, and creating and allowing healthy relationships with others to thrive and with yourself. Erin, you'll love this. Chalene hates vision boards and bucket lists because they only focus on things that are outside of common sense, and they skip checking stuff off lists and your goals in between. She still makes them, but she wants you to make sure that you write out your goals as well, along with having those visions that you want. Not just putting a picture on a board and saying, that is the house I want. Because what happens if you don't get that exact house with that exact trim and that exact paint color or that specific car? Because if you put a car on a list anyways, 10 years it's going to be outdated. You're not going to want it anymore. So create a plan to live the life you want. Start today, reverse engineer. Figure out what steps from point Z you need to do. You need to figure out A, B, C, D, all the way to get to Z. We focused on having abundance in your life, recognizing that we are all abundantly blessed, and recognizing that you all have more than you need. We discussed this is all Chalene Johnson, first session Friday morning, what your definition of success is, and what your definition of your purpose is. So we focused on, she defines purpose as to live your purpose is to, regardless of age, occupation, position, or situation, to simply look for opportunities, share your gifts, the lessons that you've learned, and the challenges that you've overcome thus far in your life, to help those who are in the position to receive. So Tori's situation is different than my situation. Mine is different from Erin's. Erin's is different from Cynthia's. Cynthia's is different from Joelle's, on and on and on. But that doesn't mean that our purpose is any less than anybody else's. Sorry, making sure I'm not frozen. In Push, she goes over what a day in your dream life would look like. Am I watching my time? Dr. Daniel Amen is a psychiatrist. He originally was an Army doctor, and then he moved into X-ray imaging and then psychiatry. And he realized that psychiatry is the only medical field in which the doctor doesn't look at the organ that they are working to heal. Cardiologists look at the heart. We all know that. Neurologists look at the brain, etc. But psychiatrists just guess about what's wrong based on what you tell them, and then they usually prescribe some medicine. So he really focuses on brain health and how your nutrition affects your brain and how it can affect having different brain diseases or health conditions, including depression, diabetes, and Alzheimer's. And actually, all of those things he has seen corrected by our nutrition. So that was really big for me and Andy, because he focused on how fixing our genetics and encouraging our genetics to our good genes to be exposed will not only help us live longer and healthier lives, but also help our kids. So in my head, I'm of course thinking about how Tori was told that she probably would never be able to conceive, and she has a beautiful daughter now, and she's gonna have a beautiful son in a week. And she went from being told no, and she wouldn't take that as an answer. And so she's changed her position in her life for that. So that really stuck out to us, especially since Andy and I do plan on having kids in the future, and diabetes runs in his family. His dad is obese, and we don't want that for our kids. My sister had gestational diabetes, so we don't want that. He has a free brain study kind of to test your brain health. You can just Google Dr. Amen brain test. He said it was a 30-minute test. I just answered a bunch of scale questions, like from never to very frequently. It took me about 5 minutes. And then you can also have somebody else that knows you pretty well take the test for you, like them judging you on the scale, and kind of see if you're totally off. Like you may say, I totally sleep 8 hours a day every day, and I'm never stressed and all this, but they know you better, and they know they can be honest for you. And you can kind of see where you need to make adjustments in your health to improve your brain health. I don't know if I have those images loaded to show you, but he shows how NFL players have severely messed up brains. They're called brain lesions. They basically look, when you take a picture and it's a rainbow colored picture, patches are missing because there's no more cognitive function in those areas of the brain. And they can be repaired with improved nutrition. I have not that much time left. Then Brett Johnson came on to speak in the afternoon session, and he spoke a lot. This was the first time he had ever spoken about this publicly, and I think he said about 4 to 5 people in the room knew that he struggled with a gambling addiction, and he still does. But he hasn't gambled in the better part of 15 years, and he spoke on how this affects his relationship with Chalene and with his kids. And so he talked a lot about seeking therapy for whatever you need to. Chalene is a big supporter of talking with people, seeking therapy for whatever your issues are, and just getting stuff off your chest. And it helps relieve your brain and your body's stress, and helps you live a more purpose-driven life. And he spoke about how there's no shame. It's not your purpose to have shame, and that you need to share your story and your struggles and use that for your purpose. So that goes for whatever Erin's gone through. She should share that, and that is part of her purpose, and how she's going to connect with her clients, because I'm not going to connect with her clients as good as she's going to. And with this, Chalene Johnson came back on the stage because Chalene always shares her story about how about 15 years ago, they were in $500,000 in debt, but she never says why. To me, it always seemed like it was something that was her fault, where something had failed in her business, or she had invested in something and it didn't work out. This is the first time that Brett said, and he said he was comfortable saying it out loud in public, it was me, and I felt terrible, and it wreaked havoc on a relationship, even when we were getting out of debt, because Shalene's focus has always been, well, if I make money, I can fix the problem, and that's it. Well, she was busting her butt so hard that even though it was Brett's own doing that got them in debt, he was like, I'm not happy because she was pushing herself so hard and he felt bad and all this relationship stuff. So Chalene Johnson has, she calls it the snap out of it exercise. It's an empathy exercise. Where you think of someone you love, but literally in this moment, you want to murder them. Crowd laughed a lot, sorry. Imagine yourself in their shoes, in their bodies, and in their mind. Now think of everything negative that they think of you and write it down. Because this situation where you're mad at them isn't about you. And there's a big thing about how forgiveness isn't about you. Like saying, I forgive you. Saying I forgive you has nothing to do with the person that you're forgiving. It's just about you letting it go and you letting the stress off your body and your mind. So it's not about you. Let go of your self-righteousness. Allow yourself to let go of the anger because you're not that great and amazing, she says. It allows you to step off your righteous platform. I've got 10 minutes. And then afterwards, create a list of all the good things that they do for you. And their list of good stuff balances out, or your list of good things that they do balances out your bad list and all those negative things that you had in your mind in the first place. And this whole exercise lets you kind of let go of everything anyways. How to find peace when you're in a personal conflict. Do the empathy exercise, work on kindness, stay calm, be positive, or be polite, know your goal, validate, and depersonalize it. It's not personal. And if it feels personal, figure out why it feels that way to you. Chalene Johnson talked about automation and how we're super distracted by everything and how our go system is like our autopilot. That's where we do mindless things like in the morning we wake up, we turn on the lights, we brush our teeth, we go to the bathroom, etc. But a lot of times we don't have a stop system. So that is our brains need to work harder to stop the go system. And that's letting yourself or focusing yourself to let go of bad habits and replace them with better habits. So we worked on identifying unhealthy habits, what's their trigger, and what's the reward that comes after it. So for example, you might skip your workout because the trigger is you're tired, you had a long day, you just don't feel good. And the reward is you get more time. You get more TV time, more time to hang out with your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, more time to go hang out with your friends, etc. So you need to figure out what that trigger is and then figure out what the excuse is as well, and then replace it with a healthy habit. Michael Hyatt talked about his new book, Living Forward. It's Living Forward, a proven plan to stop drifting and get the life you want. That's this one. He focuses on how a lot of us are just drifting through life, and you can either drift, which means, you know, you're floating on the ocean and just take me wherever I'm going to go, or people are really driven and they're just so hard at pushing where they're going that they don't actually think about, is that the destination that I want to be going towards? So this might be, well, I'm going to work really hard and I'm going to get that promotion and I'm going to get that raise, but is that what you want to be doing for the rest of your life? Is that really where you think that your purpose, where you are meant to be to help yourself, your family, and help you serve others? So he talks about designing a life, which is a big thing that we talk about in Pure Synergy. Brenda Burchard talked about, Chalene Johnson then came back and talked about your environment and making sure that you have a clean and healthy physical and mental environment and how they work symbiotically. That was another big thing for me because she says that clutter reflects your beliefs, both your inner beliefs and your outer beliefs. So if you believe that you can't get work done because you have a messy desk, but if you can't get work done, how are you ever going to clean up your desk to get to that point anyways? So everything kind of works that way. Your brain gets really blocked up. So she talked a lot about getting organized and stop spending time doing unnecessary stuff and more time focusing on your priorities. She really encouraged us, don't even do anything from what we're talking about this weekend, and basically clean up your area, get what you need to get done, set a cleaning date in your house, and just totally get all the junk out of your life. You know, those things that you keep because somebody might need them, or I might have a costume party to go to with whatever theme, yada, yada, yada. Just let it all go. And then focus on creating systems that are good for you. So like a system might be always doing the dishes before bed. That way you always wake up to a clean sink. Or always, every time you leave a room, if you see something that doesn't belong in that room, get it out of there, put it where it belongs, and then your house is going to be clean and your brain is going to be refreshed. The big thing that hit me, this is the big thing I want to talk about, is Brendon Burchard. He is the creator of High Performance Academy. He talked about the 5 personal musts to reach success and high performance. As coaches and with all the personal development that we do, we're already at a high level. We're already at a really good version of ourselves. But how do we get to the next level? So he talked about the way to get to the next level is so different from how we got to this level that we're at, and the level before that, and the level before that. So he has 5 personal musts. Number 1 is, I must raise my ambitions and refuse to settle. And he talked about how success counts the most when you give back to your family and to your heroes. Number 2 is, I must live each day with more intention. 3, I must no longer fear rejection. 4, I must face my fears and jump in. 5, I must refocus and get more committed. He talks a lot about letting your ambition be bigger. And for me, the big things that he talked about was number 4, I must face my fear and jump in. And those little things that we fear aren't really things. We need to honor the struggle, which goes for our story in general anyways. We need to honor the struggle, stop fighting the struggle. Know that, or what you love grows. So what you sprinkle hate on it, if you sprinkle hate on something, it's going to die. If you sprinkle love on it, it's going to grow. Know that someone has been there before you, which is a big part about the goals we talked about. And fear shuts off your ears. So if you let your fears get in your way, you induce panic because you didn't learn. People always forget that other people have your back. She talked about virtual help. We're going to talk about Brett talked again about monthly expense reports and setting like a money date and getting your finances figured out, because that's a big thing about this business too. Setting financial goals, like the weekly coach goals of being in the $100 club or the $200 club, and that'll help you guys with encouragement, because a lot of you want to be hobby coaches, a lot of you want to be business builders, and a lot of you guys want to be organizational leaders on the leadership ladder. Obstacles are just beliefs. The fastest way to fix a belief is to talk to a professional. So Chalene talked a lot about seeking therapy again. And some of the last stuff we talked about, Pat Flynn, he's about entrepreneurship. So he talked about being an entrepreneur, people who have new ideas. His new book is called Will It Fly, if you're interested in that. We only have a couple more minutes, and so I don't want to keep just barfing information on you guys. So does anybody have any questions or on those topics, questions on what I just talked about, or want me to talk more about this stuff next week or later this week? Anybody? Nobody. Nobody has a question. It's a lot of stuff. One of the big things for me, I did do a 10-minute live broadcast video on my Facebook like page, and I did share it on my personal page about what really hit me. Definitely Brendon Burchard's talk. I immediately signed up for his academy. I looked at Andy, and he said yes, and I didn't even have to ask a question. He said, go for it. Do whatever you want, whatever's best for you. And I signed up for the academy. He's like totally taking credit there. He's like, yeah, I did. Because like I said, my biggest thing is fear of failure. I do worry about if this business if I'm going to be successful at it. I'm pretty sure everybody has that thought sometime, but if you really do, Tori's face right now, if you really do put your mind to it and get these things written on paper, especially get your priorities down on paper, do Chalene Johnson's 30-day push at 30daypush.com. You will get email videos. It is a free version of her academies. The other ones cost money, but she does free webinars for every academy that she does. So she even does Instagram Impact. She has Courageous Confidence, all these different webinars. If she's who speaks to you, find somebody that speaks to you. But then again, just try new stuff too. You might find out that you like her thing on Courageous Confidence, but Instagram didn't mean anything to you. So the top 2 things that spoke the most to me were about cleaning up my environment, because my desk, it looks better, but it looked a little crazy before. And so then I was doing my work on the couch. And if I'm doing my work on the couch, I'm not really committing to it because I'm not fully in it. Couch zone is TV zone. That's like sweet couch back there. And Brendan Burchard stuff about really setting intention to your life. We talk about the power hour, and that's great for people who only have structured time. I have really loose time after my full workday for my full-time job. And so Julie Voris on the National Wake Up Call 2 Mondays ago said, use power pockets if you need to. So I use a power pocket on my 10-minute break at lunch, and I'll kind of follow up with some of my coaches, or I'll just see where some of my challenges are at. I'll use my lunch to make sure I'm catching up with my challenge group, because that's usually at 8 a.m. my time, 11 o'clock East Coast time. So that's a good kind of midday point to check in. And in the afternoon, I get my workout in. I get my Shakeology in the morning. Usually on my walks to work, I will listen to podcasts. So that's another power pocket. It's just, this business is flexible. It can be whatever you want it to be. You can, like I said, you can just get the